Hello Internet, this is a video for the WFW9351YW00 Whirlpool front load washer. This is one of the ones that come with the built-in water heater. The issue with this washer was we overloaded it, as well as the rubber has some tears in it, so you can see one tear there. And because of that tear and because of overloading, some water got into the bearing. And when this thing went into a spin cycle, it sounded like a jet engine going off. And now if you hear that noise, it's one of two things. It's either the motor or the bearing, probably the bearing. This is actually not too uncommon for washers to break that bearing. So what I did, I got the bearings from Front Load Washer Bearings. I bought them on eBay. They're about $80. And make sure you do your research, because there's some cheap bearings out there. The problem with cheap bearings is they will not last as long, and so for an extra 10-15 bucks you can get like Japanese bearings that have a 3-year warranty and are rated at a much faster speed. So I recommend doing that. Now, tools you'll see in front of me, this is going to help you knock out the old bearing, as well as a hammer. I also used a metal hammer. You're going to need, it's a Star Key T20. There's some bolts on this unit that are screws on this unit that do require that. And then I have a 1/4 inch driver, and then the channel locks. Also, I used vice grips at one point also, but this is going to help take off certain things. And then in order to take off the pulley, it is a 1-inch wrench to get off the pulley. Okay, you can see the back of the unit here. You're basically going to take off all the screws along the sides. There's 3 underneath and 3 on top. You're going to take off everything. Make sure you disconnect the water hoses. Make sure you turn them off on your wall first, because you don't, otherwise water will. So turn these off first, then take off your hot and cold. Also take off your drain pipe from here, and then your electrical cable, just hang it up from there. You're not going to take out the screw here. You do not need to take that out. If you do not need to take out this screw or this screw either. All the other screws will come out. You don't have to, but I like taking off the top and I like taking off the back. So I'm going to remove all these screws with my hand, with my power drill, and they all come out really quickly. So after you take off the back plate, there are these 2 pieces here. You can just slide off really easily. If you want to get the belt off first, you just kind of start pulling the belt, start returning it, but pulling the belt closer and closer and closer, and the belt will come off. Once the belt is off, you're going to want to remove the pulley here. Put your 1-inch wrench on there. You want to go ahead and put something in the hole here, and then now it's up against this, so you want to go to loosen. So you want to go the other way actually. And then now it's stuck here, and then if I just jam on this, it'll get loose. But just have something here to keep it from spinning, or you can hold it at the same time, but I don't necessarily recommend that. Here is the water heater. The water heater is down here. Let's have a look at that. Okay, there's the water heater here. You want to take out this 10mm wrench. You want to pull off the ground, pull off these wires here. Just pull off all the wires. And then there's a little 10mm nut. Take that all the way off. And then this heat thing will just pull straight out. Just pull straight back out. That'll remove the heating unit, and just set that aside for now as you put in the, as you take out the whole tub here. A couple other wires you might want to disconnect is, I like to disconnect this ground here. That's where you're going to be using your Star Key, is that ground, and that's going to give you some more slack when you pull this out. The other ground you want to take off is this ground here, and then this ground goes straight up here into a screw here, and you want to make sure you unscrew that when you take it off. Now the other thing is this vent here. You want to take this off. This little plastic piece comes totally out. And let's go ahead and remove the top. Okay, the top just kind of pulls up. Once you take out the screws in the back, you can flip that up, set it aside. You probably want to take off this rear piece altogether. I already taken out the 2 on the side, and there's 2 here on each side. Okay, and now this whole plate comes off. And this will help you remove the little exhaust pipe here, and you can move all this stuff out of the way so you can pull the tub out this way. Now this tub has 3 weights on it, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. That's to keep it kind of in there, make sure it's settled down. You can leave these on the whole procedure from start to finish. You do not need to remove them. Okay, on the front of the unit here, you could take off the base plate. It's easier if you kind of just tilt the unit up, maybe put it on a block of wood in the front in order to get, there's a screw here on the side, screw, and then the rest just comes off. You can see it sitting down over there. So that'll give you access to the bottom here. You want to take off the underneath here. There's a drain pipe. You want to make sure that this is disconnected, or else it'll go with the whole unit. You don't want that when you pull out the tub. The other thing is to remove the front panel. It's going to help you out quite a bit. Pull this out, and then there's a little button here at the top. Press the button. Press the button. This whole thing comes out. Now that's out. Now there's another star screw in there. Pull out the star screw, and then this whole front plate with the knob on and everything should just come right off, and you can just hang it up to get that out of the way. You are going to want to go ahead and remove this star screw here, and then there's another star screw. Oh, when you remove this, there's going to be a star screw on the other side, and then this whole unit right here is going to slide back that way and come undone. On the bottom corner over here, you can't see it, but right below here, in here, there is another rubber pipe fitting, and what that does is it takes the detergents and then puts them into the washer. You're going to want to make sure you disconnect that as well. The other thing to disconnect, which is already disconnected on mine, is the actual rubber piece that goes from the tub to the front of the washer. I showed you it in the beginning of the video. It's this piece here, and there's two connectors. So the first one is on the front side, which actually goes in this hole right here at the top. You'll find this. You want to pull this off the front here. And there's actually another bigger one which has a Phillips head screw on it. You see the Phillips head screw? And this one actually goes inside the washer, and it connects to this piece right here. This piece right here. This big metal one fits there. So you need to get a Phillips head screwdriver, and you need to loosen that in order to pull off this whole rubber piece here. Okay, so the rubber piece needs to be disconnected, the hose up in the corner over here for the detergent, and then the dump plug on the back. You can also get to the dump plug from the bottom. I'm sorry, it's on the bottom of the tub. You can get to the dump plug underneath. Let's see if you can see this. There's the dump plug here, right here. Okay. So if you followed everything in the video so far, you should just have the motor on there by itself. You should have gotten this belt off already. You got the pulley off already. You got this disconnected. You might need to cut some strap ties over here on the left to get the wiring. You can pull these out. There's 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These just push tight and then pop them out because you don't want the wiring harness to go with the tub. You want that to go separate. And then the motor is a 1/2 inch drive. Disconnect it here. You need to remove this shock in order to remove this. So the shock, I thought it was a little tricky at first, but basically either at the bottom or the top, you're going to grab it and just twist it. That's all you're going to do is twist it 90 degrees in either direction. It'll feel like you're breaking it, but just don't force it too much. But if you have a good connection, just turn it 90 degrees and they pop right out either from the bottom there or the top. Once you want to remove all 3 shocks, 1 and then 1 on the front there and then 3 on this side. Once the shock's removed, you move this 1/2 inch bolt. This whole motor comes out towards me like this, and get that out of the way, get the wires out of the way. I left the grounds connected here, but if you want to be extra safe, you can remove the grounds as well. So now you should have the engine off, the belt off, the pulley off. You have all these pipes off. You have the shocks disconnected. You have all the pipes in the front disconnected. And at this point, the last thing to do is you have 2 springs. 1 spring here, and then 1 spring completely opposite to it underneath here. But like I said, you'll remove this. I already did this job, and I'm doing the video later in case you were wondering. And with that, it did require 2 of us for this next portion. One of us held it up while the other one, we found it was easier to pull up on the spring and get it off of here. The other option is to try to get it unhooked on the bottom. It was easier for us to unhook from the top, okay? So top versus bottom, top was easier for us. Once you do that, you pull out the tub, and you're going to follow the directions of the other video. I'm not going to, I already put in the new bearings. Now it spins amazing. It spins really well. Put in the new bearings. Now it spins amazing. It spins really well. And what I did after I put it back in is start with like the bottom dump plug, do this dishwashing detergent, get the wiring back together, put the engine on, put the motor, not the engine, put the exhaust pipe on, put the shocks on, make sure the wiring's out of the way. The heater was a little difficult. With the heater, it's rubber mounted on the other side. Make sure the rubber mount is all the way in there. Like push hard on this before you put the screw on there, and make sure it's in there nice and tight. Also, there's a little thing to align it with, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you open the tub. There's a little like antenna like thing in there, and make sure it slides right in. But with the rubber part, make sure the rubber part is really tight in there, and kind of push on this and screw in at the same time, and it's like a pressure fit. So you'll definitely get it flush. If it's not flush, you're doing something wrong. Then just put all the wires. Make sure you hit all the grounds nice and tight. Make sure you put this ground back that goes into right behind the pulley. That one might be forgotten if you don't remember to screw it back in. Screw on your pulley with the 1-inch drive. The belt, it'll get back on. It might be a little tough, but again, just kind of move it around, get it back on the motor, and then start putting back on the plates. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you like this video, if it was helpful for you, could you please like or share it?